Hey guys, welcome back to Wolves Den Wrestling. My name is Grimfire, and we just had the season premiere of Smackdown last night. So, in this video, I'm going to be doing my ratings and an overview of Smackdown, so you'll see what happened last night if you weren't able to catch it. If you just wanted to, if you're curious what my opinions are on the matches and some of the segments, I'm going to be doing a typical 5-star rating for most of the matches and some segments. However, it won't be stars. We'll be using our own 5-bone system, where the best matches of the night will get 5 silver bones. The worst matches, if there are any that are very bad, they'll get 1 star. 3 stars will be for matches that were just okay, and I think you get the gist from there. Before getting into any of the segments tonight, I want to go ahead and acknowledge the fact that we have a new announced team on SmackDown, as was announced the other day, and we are returning to the 2-man booths. Thank God. I know some people enjoy the 3-man booths. I don't. I thought they constantly talked over each other, and it was really annoying to listen to. I prefer 2-man or 2-people booths, and it looks like all the shows are going back to that. And on SmackDown, for the time being, we have Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and I'm so glad that Wade Barrett's back. And just this change alone is going to get they're gonna get the golden bone. We'll give them the golden bone. The golden bone is given out to segments and matches that I find are basically the best of the best, and made me super happy. And yeah, so good on you guys. The announced team gets a golden bone. I hope Wade Barrett stays around for a while, and I hope this continues. So, Triple H started off the show with welcoming everybody to the season premiere of SmackDown. He also had mentioned that when you think some things end, they are just beginning. I think that's a nod to him taking over the show, possibly also a nod to the whole White Rabbit and possible reboot of Bray Wyatt. But also, during his promo on the mic, you did see a QR code, which brought you to a short clip. I'm not going to play it here, but basically, it was a short clip that constantly said, "Let me in," confirming everyone's suspicions that it is indeed Bray Wyatt and possibly The Fiend returning tomorrow night tonight at Extreme Rules Pay-Per-View. After Triple H welcomed everybody to SmackDown, the Bloodline arrived in full force. Every single member of the Bloodline was there. They got to the ring, Roman, as usual, took his sweet time to get to the ring, and they were immediately interrupted by Logan Paul. Logan Paul came to the ring, unfortunately, to the chants of, I'm pretty sure, was Logan sucks. Either they're chanting Logan Paul, but I highly doubt it. I like Logan Paul as a wrestler. I think he fits pretty well in wrestling. The problem is he's got so much baggage that I don't think there's any way to ever make him a face and get fans behind him. But as Logan gets to the ring, Reigns assures Logan that they won't attack him, even though there are a bunch of them, meaning the Bloodline. And during this entire segment, Reigns gave the microphone to Paul Heyman. And between Paul Heyman and Logan Paul, I'm pretty sure they said the word smash about 256 times, give or take a few. I don't know why that was their favorite word during this segment, but basically, Paul Heyman listed off a bunch of other influencers and basically just talked about how Logan's going to get clout for his influencing, but he still has no chance against Roman, which I'm pretty sure all of us agree with that statement. And tried to say that he was going to get smashed by the Tribal Chief. Then when Logan finally got to speak, Logan decided to ask one single question on which Tribal Chief was going to smash him. Was it going to be Roman Reigns or was it going to be Jey Uso? Trying to spread seeds of doubt, I guess, between Roman and Jey, even more so than the feud between Jey and Sami has been doing. Which caused Roman to look at Jey for a good hot minute, where I'm pretty sure Jey wanted to die. It probably brought back all the memories of when Roman whooped the crap out of Jey Uso at the beginning of this entire Bloodline storyline, which was like 2 years ago. Then Sami, of all people, spoke up, played Peacekeeper, and that was the end of the segment. Now, we get on to our first match, which is Solo Sikoa versus Ricochet. Now, at first I thought this match probably came out of nowhere, but I guess, I don't know if it was on social media or if it was backstage or something, but the announcer, Michael Cole, had mentioned that Ricochet had said something about Solo's family or something about the Bloodline, so Solo took offense to that. And Solo I'm almost thinking that Solo's gonna try to take the bloodline from Roman at some point, mainly because he is aggressive, man. Like at the beginning of this match, he didn't even let Ricochet take off his jacket. Solo rushed Ricochet with a what was it? I don't remember what. Crossbody. Yeah, he rushed him with a crossbody right to the mat, and then just started whooping the dude's butt. So, the match was all right. At one point, Solo grabbed a chair, banging it against like the ring and on the ground, and made it look like he was gonna use it, even though he would have been disqualified. Like that would have been the dumbest move possible. But he threw it down. Just showed how angry he was getting. There's one spot that you have to go out of your way to watch. Ricochet, I believe he was on the apron, and he went to springboard into the ring, and he did like this flip into the ring or something like that. And he gets hit by Solo in midair, and then does a backflip, lands on the back of his neck and head on the apron, which looks painful as hell, and then falls to the outside before they cut to the commercial break. Like, I'm sure if they came back and the match was just over, I wouldn't have been surprised, but yeah, he somehow didn't die there and continued on to the match. The finish saw Ricochet trying the shooting star press, I think that's what it was, from the top rope, and he was caught in midair by Solo and slammed with, I guess they're calling it the spinning Solo, which is basically a spinning version of the rock bottom. So that was pretty good. Overall, the match was great. I don't know if I would go so far as giving it the full 5 bones, but definitely a 4 bones match. It was a really good match, and I'm loving Solo. Ricochet is definitely getting the spotlight he needs. Overall, pretty good match. Alright, so after that match, they had a backstage Bloodline segment where Sami Zayn was basically taking credit and saying that he took Solo under his wing. Jay got mad, started saying, "He's our brother, you did nothing," but yada yada yada. Sami asks Jay why he's such a hothead, and Roman agrees. Sami tries to back out of it, apologizing for even saying it. He didn't want to start any trouble, but Roman agrees that Jay is a hothead and says that Jay's always been a hothead and Jay's always been his problem, but now it is Sami's problem. So I guess Roman basically made Jay Sami's subordinate now. I'm not sure where that's going, but all these backstage segments with Sami, Reigns, and the Bloodline are always good, so yeah. After that, we will move on to the Hit Row showing up. They getting out of their trailer. They start doing a random rap by themselves. I guess that's just their thing. I enjoyed Hit Row before Vince, trashed them. And I like them, but they definitely haven't found their stride yet. And you'll see why a little bit later in this video. And then we go from backstage segment to backstage segment as a third backstage segment appears. And it's the Usos and Sami who run into the New Day, where the New Day starts heckling them, basically saying that Sami is the Usos' new daddy. It was probably one of the funniest segments of the night. I typically save the star or bone rating for matches, but I have to give this one a 5 bone rating because just the back and forth was hilarious. And then at the very end of this segment, the New Day, as they were walking away, I think it was Xavier. It was usually, I don't remember which one said it at this point, but basically they looked at Sami as they walked away and said, "You're not the stepdaddy, you're the dad who stepped up." But during the entire segment, Sami did challenge them to a trios tag match with the Usos and Sami Zayn taking on the 2 members of the New Day and then a partner of their choosing, which I don't know why people do this, because every time they do that, it always ends badly for the team that challenges, but more of that later. So, Hit Row finally make it to the ring. I guess they don't even have a scheduled match, so Wade Barrett was talking about how maybe they're just going to do some kind of like rap thing in the ring or something like that. But before anything can even happen, they get jumped by 3 masked individuals. And then at one point, returning Zelina Vega appears on the turnbuckle and attacks B-Fab. All of Hit Row is laid out, made look like chumps. Not sure how good that is for their reputation, but we do get the new called up group that's been rumored from NXT. Let me look at the notes here really quickly. I don't. Yeah. So it's okay. I'm gonna butcher this, but it's Legado Del Fantasma. And they came up with Zelina Vega, and I'm almost positive. I don't watch NXT a whole lot. I want to start watching it more now, but they had another female manager on NXT, so apparently they left her in NXT and called it the rest of the group. That's kind of a slap in the face to her, if you ask me. But I'm happy that Zelina Vega is back. The group does look pretty damn intimidating. So all in all, pretty good segment. I'm not sure what this does to Hit Row and where Hit Row goes from here, but probably maybe a feud between the two groups. Although Hit Row does need to find another member because Legado del Fantasma has 3 men and 1 woman, and Hit Row has 2 and 1 because they weren't able to get back. They weren't able to get Isaiah Swerve Scott back. Hopefully, maybe they found out a way to get him back or found a new member, but we'll see. All right, moving on now finally to our second match of the night, which is another one that was kind of out of nowhere. It's Sonya and Xia Li, who I guess are teaming now, versus Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez, which they've been rumoring them becoming a team ever since Raquel lost Aaliyah. They took Aaliyah out, and I don't know what happened to her at this point, but the match was okay, I guess. It was very reminiscent of a Vince era women's match, though. The beginning of the match was basically Sonya and Xia Li keeping Shotzi from tagging. Then eventually Shotzi gets a hot tag, although it looked a lot more like a lukewarm tag than a hot tag. And then Raquel just whooped the crap out of both the other women, did the Tejada Bomb, and won. Match was over in less than 3 minutes. Just because I'm not sure where this is heading, or if it's heading to anything, or if it was just a short time filler. I mean, not every match has to be long, but less than 3 minutes for the only women's match on the card seems to be pretty bad. But I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. We'll give it 3 bones. It was okay. I guess it just did what it needed to do, which was to show Raquel as being a badass. I think that was the entire purpose of the match. But yeah, it was okay. And again, Shotzi came out with her new tank with Pyro, so that itself is what helps bump it to the 3 bones instead of 2. Next up, we do get a promo package for Liv versus Ronda, who were not at SmackDown tonight, so they kept them off TV. But they did do a nice promo package where it looked like it was Liv constantly repeating that there was going to be basically no funny business for this upcoming match. And how she won her last 2 with Ronda were kind of but it was a pretty good promo. I would highly advise going to check it out. I would say that I'm still very hyped for that match. So the promo itself, I'll give it 4 bones. There wasn't a whole lot of matches tonight, so gotta give a rating somewhere, and it was a good promo. As I said, there wasn't a lot of matches tonight, at least not typically, because the next thing we got was Karrion Kross coming out, which, by the way, I still love his entrance. He's probably got one of the best entrances in the current roster. He comes out and immediately gets jumped by Drew McIntyre. Now, at first, I wasn't really too excited about this segment because it just seems like the same stuff we've been doing with Drew and Karrion over the last week or 2. But at one point, security did come out to try to stop Drew. Drew basically beat them all up, threw them all over the place, but this distracted Drew enough to where Karrion was able to get back to his feet and use the strap to his advantage and keep slamming Drew into the turnbuckle, the ring post, and then at some point basically turned Drew into his personal whipping boy, until Drew had already had welts on his back before the actual strap match happens tonight. So that segment alone, at first I wasn't sure, but by the end of it, 5 bones. I give it the full 5 bones. I think it was great. It did what it needed to do. Although now Karrion's looked too strong to where I'm almost worried he's going to lose tonight at Extreme Rules. I hope he doesn't. I'm pretty sure he needs the win since how he just came onto the show. But if he gets the win tonight, I don't know what that's going to do to Drew. So that'll be interesting to see nonetheless. Right, so then we got another, what seems to have been a promo. Now, it wasn't confirmed who this was, but they talked about Valhalla. They showed the Viking shields. I'm assuming it's the Viking Raiders, but the man that spoke did not sound like Eric or Ivar. I could be wrong about that one. It could have been possibly Eric. I'm pretty sure it was not Ivar. But then there was a woman's voice, and I'm wondering, are they actually going to be putting Sarah Logan with the Viking Raiders finally? I know they did the whole New Day funeral a while back, where I'm pretty sure it was Sarah Logan that was in that video, but that was like the only time we ever saw her, or even a woman Viking. Sarah Logan fits the Viking theme like 100%, so I'm hoping that's what it is. It was just a little quick promo, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the Viking Raiders, and I really hope that they do now have Sarah Logan with them. It would help them out. All right, so we do get to our third match of the night, which is the Usos and Sami Zayn versus the New Day and their surprise partner. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually was curious to see if maybe Big E was already fit again to wrestle, although I'm pretty sure there's a chance he might never wrestle again. So I was actually like waiting for a pop for if it was Big E. Unfortunately, it was not, but fortunately, it was Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman is as over as he has ever been in WWE, even though he's not really doing much except for just destroying people. But he's a big guy who can do a lot of stuff, so he's very good. And yeah, as soon as Braun comes out, the Usos look like someone just killed their dog. Like they knew it was pretty much over from the start, you know, by just seeing Braun. I mean, hell, Braun can make up 3 people himself. But basically the moral of the story of this match was the fact that Sami and Jay could not get on the same page. At one point, Sami tagged himself in. Jay got mad. Jay slapped Sami so hard with a tag at one point that I'm pretty sure he left a bruise under the shirt. And then Jay got back into the ring, and then at some point they tagged Jimmy in, and both Sami and Jay are arguing on the outside of the ring. Braun Strowman, after doing some damage, tagged himself back out, got out of the ring, basically steamrolled both Jay and Sami into the announcers, taking out Michael Cole. That looked painful. And then the New Day double teamed Jimmy and picked up the win, and that was that match. It was a good match. It was more of a story match than anything, because, you know, we spread more seeds between Sami and Jay, and how they can't get along, and how that pot's gonna boil over eventually here. I'm just trying to figure out when it might boil over and what we'll do when what the payoff will actually be. But nonetheless, I'm still super excited for Sami Zayn's storyline and what they're going to do with the guy. I mean, it's only guaranteed that he's going to be going face at some point based on the crowd reactions. But yeah, so I get the match for 5 bones. I do think it was a really good match. It did what it needed to do. It went for a decent amount of time, and it progressed the story. We get to the main event, which is Sheamus versus Gunther for the IC title, for the Intercontinental title. Well, I will say this match was just as good, if not better, than the match at Clash at the Castle for the most part. It was a good amount of time. I think they had a good 20 to 30 minute match, if I recall. And it was a fight, just like it was at Clash at the Castle. It was very reminiscent of that fight at Clash at the Castle. Same spot, same things happened. At one point, there was an avalanche white noise off the turnbuckle. Gunther kicked out. Gunther did the powerbomb. Sheamus kicked out. There was one controversial thing during this match, and that was that Sheamus had was it the Texas Cloverleaf? I don't remember. I don't remember what the submission is called right now, but I think it was the Cloverleaf. And he had Gunther in it, and Gunther, trying to reach for the rope, hit his hand to the mat a couple of times, which most people are saying was a tap out, but Jessica Carr, the referee for the match, even took to Twitter stating that it wasn't a tap out, and even the announcers thought it was a tap out, but then said it wasn't a tap out. So I know that there's no rules, but if we wanted to get technical, I'm pretty sure that since wrestling and since tapping out has been a thing, the wrestler always has to tap 3 times for the referee to actually call it a tap out. I don't know if it's in the rules. I think people were trying to find it in the rules overnight to see if it was a thing. I don't think it's actually hard-coded in the rules, but that is the way it's been treated, and Gunther did only tap twice, which I guess is a way to make your opponent think you tapped out, so then they let go of the hold. I'm not sure what they were going for there, but definitely controversial. And then after that, Imperium came out to the ring to try to help Gunther, and were immediately attacked by the Brawling Brutes, who brought out the Shillelagh. However, the Shillelagh would come back to haunt them as the Shillelagh would be passed into the ring to Gunther, where Gunther would use it against Sheamus and pick up the win. Now, that's probably the only part of the match that I don't like. I think the match was really good overall, but I think it was a great match that had a pretty poor ending. Not sure how else they probably could have ended that, really, without just a clear victory, but I don't know if the Shillelagh was the proper way to do the match. I will still give the match 5 bones because it was a great match overall, although the ending would take away from that a little bit. So yeah, that is the overview and the showcase of SmackDown. There are a couple things that I want to touch on that I didn't touch on earlier, and that is we did get a couple of videos outside of the QR code that was on at the beginning of the night that aired right as we went to commercial break or back from commercial break, which showed a digital white rabbit going through the spooky woods, finding a purple X signifying Extreme Rules, digging down a hole where the pits of hell, I'm pretty sure, exploded, frying their poor bunny. And then it's flipped over to a screen that said, I think it said tomorrow night, along with the date. And then a bunch of languages popped up, which I'm pretty sure all translate to feed your head. So I think that's more confirmation that whoever the White Rabbit is, Bray Wyatt, will have something to do with Extreme Rules tonight. I don't know if there'll be a big segment where he shows up or what will happen, but yeah, expect Bray Wyatt or some iteration of Bray Wyatt to have something to do tonight. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you rated the matches, how you thought this is a SmackDown. I thought SmackDown overall was I'll give it 4 bones as an overall show tonight. It was kind of like slow and like not a lot happened, but I never expect a whole lot from go home shows. These, ever since, with Vince and everything, because there's not much they can do to build up to the show that they've already built up to like numerous times, especially when the show's the next day. But they did do a decent job. They had 4 matches in 2 hours, so I'm assuming that Triple H is trying to limit the shows to 2 matches per hour, based on his reputation on the current premium live events being 6 matches a piece for 3 hours. But yeah, I thought it was good. Let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Be sure to like, subscribe for the algorithms, and and we'll be back tomorrow with some more ratings and reviews for Extreme Rules. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.